My name is Catherine Racklow, and I did my study on the relationship between natural and synthetic sense, gender identification, intensity, pleasantness, and arousal. Before I really begin, I'm going to give a definition of pheromones, which are chemicals that are secreted by organisms to send information to members of the same species. And this relates to my study because my study involves human pheromones linked to arousal. Some companies sell products enhanced by synthetic pheromones, such as colognes, perfumes, and body sprays like that, to enhance or to attract the opposite sex. Here's an example of that. A cologne called Pheromone with a synthetic pheromone added to it. My study will explore the effect of the interaction between natural body odors, which contain pheromones, and synthetic scents. It also explores the interaction between mismatched scents, men wearing women's perfume or vice versa. Some background information. In 2002, McCoy and Bettino studies showed an increase in sociosexual behavior, like flirting or sexual contact, stuff like that, caused by wearing a perfume with a synthetic pheromone added to it. And this pertains to my study somewhat because the body odors for the participants in my study had natural versions of this pheromone, which is linked to arousal. Another study in 2001 performed by Wedekind and Malinsky had male participants wear plain white t-shirts overnight with just their natural body scent, nothing else added to contaminate the t-shirts in the sense of it. And later on they had females smell each shirt and answer survey questions about each one of them. It showed that women prefer the sense of the men who were most dissimilar to their own genetic makeup. And this is because everyone has their own set of immunity or resistance to illnesses, and men release pheromones based on these genetic resistances, and women prefer the men with the most dissimilar set of these resistances, possibly because for offspring purposes, so their kids will have the most chance of the more resistances to illnesses. And my study was basically conducted using a similar methodology as Wedekind's and Malinsky's as far as the way they set up their study. They used t-shirts as well, and however they used only natural body odor. I used natural body odor as well as synthetic scents. The constructs of interest, male versus female natural scent, along with matched and mismatched scents. Also, participants' perception of the gender and type of scent on a cloth sample, and the resulting intensity, pleasantness, and sexual arousal associated with the scents. Predictions. Basically, my prediction was that participants will be able to determine which gender natural scents came from. And this is because, basically just because I feel like people have like an idea already of what a girl smells like kind of and what a guy smells like. And that's basically the only thing I really based my prediction, or this prediction on. And then my other prediction is that when synthetic scents are introduced, I predict that participants will guess the scent came from whichever gender the product was intended for, and fail to recognize the natural scent they are paired with. And this is basically kind of the same as the thing I just said with the top, the natural, the gem from the natural sense, because I feel like people also have an idea of what the gender a certain product is intended for as well, like a girl cologne spray or a guy cologne spray. And the reason why I think they'll fail to recognize the natural scent that they are paired with is because the scented product will overpower the natural scent. So for the method, I had 2 Confederates first, a male and a female, wear 3 different shirts separately. The first shirt they wore was with only their natural body scent. The second shirt was their natural body scent and a male scented product. And the third shirt was they wore it with their natural scent and a girl scented product. And they wore each of these shirts for 12 hours, and I instructed them to try to limit at all costs the possible, like anything that contaminate the shirts or change the scents, or minimize the intensity or anything like that. I then gathered 20 male participants and 11 female participants. The ages ranged from 18 through 24. And basically they just smelled each shirt worn by the 2 Confederates. And then they answered questions about each shirt after they smelled each one of them. And the survey questions were basically just which of the following best describes what the cloth smells like, a male, a female, or neither, and which of the following best describes the scent of the cloth, natural body scent, scented product, or both. And how would you best rate the intensity, the pleasantness, and level of sexual arousal associated with smelling each cloth? And the ratings were placed on a 7-point Likert type scale, with 1 being the least intense, pleasant, arousing, and 7 being the most. My results. The men and women did not differ in ability to identify the gender. There was no difference in ability to identify gender between natural, matched, and mismatched samples. However, all 3 of these samples were correctly identified more than 50% of the time, even mismatched. And this was surprising to me because that's not what I predicted. I predicted that the natural scents would be identified a lot better than the mismatched. Mismatched scents were found to be the most intense, pleasant, and arousing, and matched scents were found to be the second most intense and pleasant, but tied with natural scents in terms of arousal. Now here are 2 graphs that I came up with. The one on the left shows a slight positive correlation between intensity and arousal, and this one showed a slightly more stronger positive correlation between pleasantness and arousal. And basically what my results mean, it isn't really clear why mismatched scents were preferred. Maybe a potential implication is that men's cologne with a hint of women's perfume in it and women's perfume with a hint of men's cologne in it is more preferred than what we have today, I guess. And based on my findings and past research, there still is much more research to be done in the field of scented products. And this is basically kind of why I wanted to do this study, was because there isn't a lot of research, and I also wanted to just do something that isn't, overly studied and stuff like that. And I guess what I've left is just limitations and things that would change if I did the study again. I would probably get more Confederates to wear the t-shirts. That would probably produce more accurate results, and I would change the amount, or I would also include more scented products as well to make the results stronger and more valid. I would also try to change the intensity level too, as well, which would see if that would make a difference. And I would change, or I would include a bigger or broader range of for the age range, because that might produce different results. And I would also, for this synthetic scents, I would also include some that supposedly have the synthetic pheromones added to it. So this basically concludes my study, and I hope you enjoyed it.